Timing is so crucial. And so then I looked around and I said, hey, I have the pieces to the puzzle of what I knew I wanted to make was this the ecosystem, right? It's just I was working on the later stage of the supply chain, which is the liquidation model.
Right.
I'm like, I have the pieces to now just say, hey, I'm going to park the liquidation business for now or not invest as many resources into it because it's still going, right? To this day, but it's just a very small, compact team versus the 40 plus people that I had on it before, right? So I said, okay, you know what? What can I do? I have the technology that is somewhat ready, just needs a few refinements. I have the space and I have the people.
Yeah.
Right.
So you have everything.
I have the pieces to then pivot. Right.
Again.
and figure it out. And I realized that, hey, the best thing for us to focus on right now is what we focus on and what we've been focusing on since we actually just made a full year of the second iteration of Inspire.
Right. So ito na, papasok na ulit tayo sa exciting part.
This is essentially what we realized, what we needed to focus on, which is, hey, we have all the pieces to the puzzle. We need to provide our technology as the service to the companies, as the control layer, as the command center, which what we like to call it, for the businesses, right? That are selling on platforms like Lazada, like Shopee, like TikTok, like Zalora, Shopify.
Right.
Give them a centralized platform, but also understanding that in the Philippines and really across Southeast Asia, we're not a SaaS consuming economy.
That's very, very true.
Like businesses are not forming a line, right? And saying, hey, I'm paying for that tool.
Yeah.
Interestingly here, people would rather go through the manual process.
Yes.
Google Sheets.
I can attest to that.
Versus paying for the tool.
Exactly.
So I understood that the technology was going to be the glue of what allowed us to be able to grow and scale efficiently. But it wasn't going to be what I present to the brands and the clients as the entry point, as like the main course, right?
Yeah.
We're a service-based economy.
Yeah.
People are paying for outcomes and services, right? So I said, I need to be able to merge these two, have the technology be the glue that essentially allows the brand to get a taste of what technology can do for you without you paying for it, and really just offer the services, which is the warehousing and fulfillment.
Okay.
And that's how we really got started. Again, last June, right? So now it's July. We're in July now, right?
Yeah.
So we're on our 13th month. And to be frank with you, we came in with fulfillment experience, but for our products.
Right.
Very different.
Exactly.
To doing it with another for a brand, right? Or providing a service to them. So there was a company which I'll leave out for their own sake. But there was a company that offers fulfillment services, and essentially what they did is that they worked with warehouses in leveraging their warehousing, and they would bring on the brands, and then they would pass the brands over to us, right? And essentially that was the model that they had or have. I'm not sure if they still have it, but it's a very popular fulfillment company in the Philippines. And I remember I went up to them because I said, hey, I can try, and this was January of last year.
Right.
So before we launched, which was June. I said, I can sit here and try to do this on my own and understand all of the in and outs of what brands actually want. Or I can leverage all of the space that I already have, give it to this company. I didn't make any money. Even if I take a loss, right? But at least I can give them the space, and it would allow me to then ingest these brands and really understand all of the angles where they're right, because they're the most notorious fulfillment center in the Philippines.
Okay.
And I said, hey, I can literally learn for the next few months, how does the process work end to end?
So
what are the things, because they're the number one company in the Philippines, what are they great at? What can we emulate? What can we replicate? But where are the gaps?
Right.
What are they not strong on? Where can we plug ourselves in, right? And have a differentiating factor, because now we're competing against, we're trying to go for the big players.
Yeah.
And that was always the plan, right?
Yes.
So eventually spoke to their team. I gave them an offer they couldn't resist. They
Wait. But
looked at
before we get there, what was the main gap that you
Yeah,
saw?
what was the
like
main gap you
in
saw?
between the big brand and what they're
the
missing
main
out on.
one of them was understanding that in order to have success in this industry, you need to own the tech stack. They didn't own the tech stack.
Right.
It was a white label solution.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So that was the first thing. And I'm like, okay, well, check.
Tech.
We own,
yeah, you have the
we
tech.
own that. Number two is just the customer excellence or the experience that these larger companies end up delivering to their customers.
Right.
You know, it really loses quality as they scale. Right. And I understood my background is BPO. And we have this obsessive behavior of just providing great experience as a whole.
Exactly.
And I understood that those were the gaps that I needed to plug. Aside from looking at their system, using it for a few months, seeing the things that we needed to add, seeing the things like it gave me that understanding of just their business on a greater scale that I wouldn't have had.
Right.
And I would have just had to do it and learn it myself.
That's true.
Which is what it would have took significantly longer.
That's true.
And more trial and error. So I said, you know what? Give them the space. They couldn't resist the offer that I gave them. We ended up onboarding them. I got to see the full tech stack, the processes, the challenges. And literally just for 6 months, just documenting, speaking to our team, saying this is what we need to work on, iterating our system until we felt that we were ready to be able to take off and launch the service ourselves.
Right.
Which is a conversation that, to be blunt, I did have with that fulfillment company that this was my plan. I think that they were so big and that we were non-existent.
Yeah.
They just didn't take us very serious.
Right.
They were like, okay. All right, whatever. Like, you know, it was, and listen, to an extent, I appreciate it, but it was also a little bit disrespectful to me because I was just like, I don't think you understand
what I have.
Right? Like when I set my mind into something and when I lock in, like, you're like, it's hard to just get me off of that. Like, doesn't mean that I'm going to succeed because obviously on the previous venture, some of them haven't worked out.
Yeah.
But I'm going to put everything I have into this. I am going to work harder than you are ever going to work to make this work.
Oh, boss. Deserve mo malaman ng buong kwento niyan.
Huwag kang mag-alala. The full episode is now up on YouTube and Spotify.
Follow us on our social media pages for more updates. This is Benta Bosses by Quotable AI.